Oh, we're here. I'm here. I got a lot of hair. I've got a lot of hair. It gets kind of everywhere, especially when, I guess I don't really need to wear my headset right now. That's freeing. I mean, I don't get my feedback or whatever those kids call it. Welcome, everybody. Thank you to everybody who was watching in the premiere with me just moments ago. That was fun. I enjoyed doing that. I can see people are already Googling Mr. Ing himself to see what he is up to. And yes, you may be right what you're guessing, but it's a little bit even more, it's funny. It's funny, actually. There's some funny shit. Legitimately makes me laugh kind of stuff. King Yeti, welcome. Yes, grovel, the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. That doesn't really apply here. That's my dog Squid. Welcome, buddy. He wanted to join the party. All right, guys. Well, I've got the volcano heating up there in the back, but I am already rather high. Because guys, not to spoil things that are coming up in weeks and in the upcoming months, but I've finally, many of you have correctly chastised me for years now. Dog, why don't you make your own shit? Well, while I'm not competent enough to actually make anything, I did purchase something to help make the process a little bit easier. Not to bake or anything, but I am now in the business of making my own little, actually potent gel caps myself. I'm doing it. I've done it. I've made THC capsules myself. I'm so proud of myself. Pat myself on the back there. Although they are hard to swallow. I got the horse pill sized one. You know, the one that can choke a baby rhinoceros. So that's been a little unpleasant, but I'm really quite pleased with how they've turned out. It's MCT oil and decarbed weed, but that's coming up for something else. I've missed the chat. Let me go back to chat, guys. Oliver Queen, what up? Just picked up a gram as you went live. Nice. Enjoy that gram. Anomalous, welcome back. Any good flour lately? And valid? I'm not sure that little E, how you pronounce that. I'm not a big flour guy. I've been smoking Skywalker OG recently, but it's, it's fine. I'm not a big strain guy, to be honest. Big Mite says, Wheats! Jared Gift says, love his honesty so much. Thank you. Congratulations. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you for giving me all of the adulation I deserve for finally putting weed inside of a warm thing. I mean, I'm breaking ground here. I'm doing all kinds of incredible things. Jared Giff would like me to make it a suppository, if only. That would be nice, right? I've never, for somebody who is clearly as, there's orally and anally fixated, and I mean, come on, I gotta be at least a little anally fixated, as a giant pair of shitty underpants up there. I've never actually had a suppository, so, let's just be honest, I've never really had anything up my ass, period, which, is, as a 30-something, I think I'm 30-something year old man, I'm not sure if that's something to be proud of or ashamed of, Okay. What are we up to? Suppository, please. PP says Tesla himself would be proud. Oh my God, I am way behind. Big Mike, I watch all your vids. Thank you. Have you tried the Stony Patch Kids yet? Not yet. Haven't found them. It's the phonetic word for valid. Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Derek says he got a volcano on 420. How do you like yours? I really like mine. I've had it for 3.5 years now. My only problem with it is it makes me cough. I'm a cougher, and this one makes me cough more than normal. But I do love it. It's great. I'd much prefer it than actually smoking a bong if it didn't make me cough as much. Okay, where am I at? I'm catching up. Philip, weed sucks in New Mexico. Sorry, man. Hopefully it gets better soon. King Yeti says, oh, you're smoking Skywalker OG. Nice. I'm about to vape some Skywalker OG. Artie says, where's the dog's dudeness? My boy Squiddy, my border collie's down here. Frog, the Great Dane, is napping on the couch like a big lazy bitch. How are the pills hitting? Very hard, thank you. I think I've estimated them to be about 35 milligrams each, and I'm on about 10 right now, which were hard getting down. Dig your vids, cruising on some Flourish gummies. Nice. I'm glad you're enjoying the Flourish. I like Flourish too. Groundbreaking developments. I've always wanted to make capsules. Is the process quite time consuming? A little bit. The only thing that's actually time consuming is getting the olive or the oil into the capsules themselves. I did it with just a dropper, and it took me, I don't know, it wasn't that bad. It took me probably 90 minutes to do like 100 of them. And that, lasts a while. So, but it does require, some prep time to get started, but I have purchased something to make that process a little bit easier. Grovel says, you ever think about growing your own weed? Yes, but not while I not while I own a condo. It's hard to do here. Do have a balcony, but, not the kind of sunlight nor space, nor maybe neighborly inclination. Do your pills pass the eye test? You tell me. I think I see a little pink there. I definitely feel it. You may even be able to tell. But that's just that's my private stash now. I also did it to be able to review the hint, I'll go ahead and spoil it, the Ardent Nova. The Ardent Nova, somebody long ago first brought it up here in the chat and told me about it, and I've had my eye on it ever since, and finally, what's the phrase? Bit the bullet? Dropped the gun? Bit the something? I don't know. Bit an apple, shot a bullet, did whatever one needs to do to make the purchase. And I've been enjoying it. King Yeti says, you don't gotta respond to everybody, bruh. I know, I'm losing my voice here. Cade Whitmore says, you should make edible crackers and call them wheat thins. Now that's somebody with a brain for puns, which, me, whoever said the pun is the lowest form of humor, that was my dog yawning. Fuck that guy. The pun is excellent. The pun is wonderful. Sure, it's sort of, effortless. Sure, it doesn't take a lot to process, but they're joyful, man. Who doesn't love a great pun or play on words? They're lovely. I love them, especially a good one. I give them to me all the time. I can never have too many puns in my life. That's why I like hair salons. I love hair salons. Hair today, gone tomorrow, hairly there, a clip in time, all those great names. It feels like every salon in the world needs to make a pun name. And that's why I adore them. Where we at? Okay, I'm going to have to just skip up a little bit in chat to catch up, guys. I'm sorry. Valid says, when do you smoke flower, joints, or glass? Both. Whatever I have on hand. Prefer joints to glass, but I would say more often smoke out of glass than joints because I guess I know how to roll things, but it would be like, somebody saying, I guess I know how to fix your Ferrari. It's not a vote of confidence. It's not something you would want somebody to do for you. What's your vape cart brand of choice, says King Yeti. That's a good one. I would probably just go with, to be honest, Steezy. I mean, I know it's not the 510, but they're consistently great. They're so convenient. They're so easy, so discreet, and usually in the best flavors, I would say, like the best sort of terpene profile. Anomalous says, still advocating for the weed plant on the balcony. Okay, let's see. I hope, Jeff Core, that he'll contact me. I'd love to talk to him, and I'd love to give him a fair shake. If you would like to come on and, you know, make the case for his stuff, and, you know, tell everybody, you know, why he's, you know, what's great about his companies, I would be more than happy to you know, have that conversation with him. Again, you know, totally would love to, but that's up to him. Gregory says, you like Kingpin? I do like Kingpin. One thing that I would tell you about Kingpin, though, is to be very careful. That is, I would say, even more than brass knuckles, it's a super commonly counterfeited cartridge. I need to get a video going about just how bad the counterfeit cartridge market is. I mean, I don't quite understand the scope myself. I don't know how vast it is, but it's certainly bad. And I know Kingpin is one that's definitely affected. Oh, Grovel got himself a joint roller, which is what I probably need to do, because I do much prefer joints to glass. So I should pick that skill up. Sean asked if I tried the Stony Patch Kids yet. I thought I answered that. Have not, man. I have not seen them yet. But as soon as I do, I will give those Stony Patch Kids a chance. Also, I've got to go fill up this volcano. Hi, guys. Oh, shit. Oh, I gotta put... Ooh. Ow. I left the damn thing on it like a dummy. And I gotta put weed in it, too. That's one of the things, if you're stupid... Owies. If you're stupid, don't buy a volcano. Because you'll leave the oven on the top and burn your fingers like a dum-dum. Gregory says, what's your favorite vape pen? I'd still say Steezy. Gregory says, good show. Can weed be sold over the web, I think is what. And no, it cannot. Although I think seeds are a great area. But that does not stop people from doing it. I think Instagram is filled with people selling weed over the internet. And, oh, Jared, yes, asking about how I use the Ardent. Not extensively, for sure. I've used it quite a bit, but in a very limited, here's my Skywalker OG, by the way, all ground up already. Put some in there. What was I just talking about? God, you can tell I'm high, guys. Oh, Ardent Nova. Yes, Ardent Nova. I've used it really only to make capsules. I haven't... You can make, it's a decarber, so it's really just... Its primary purpose is just to stick the weed in to decarb it, and it's, the most efficient decarber on the market. It's remarkably efficient at extracting the THC, and... You can also use it as an infuser as well, and they have this little silicone sleeve so you can decarb your shit and then immediately infuse it. Take the decarb stuff, put it in a silicone sleeve, stick it back in the Ardent with your stuff that you're going to infuse. In my case, MCT oil, because it has routinely tests as the one of the best oils or mediums to transfer THC into it. It gets the most THC infused into it. So far I've done about a ratio of what did I do? I can't remember. It's very potent, the ratio I do. I do an absurdly high ratio because I'm obscene. But it's really great. It's really great. I would like to be more adventurous with it and decarb some things and then, make some things, make some can of butter, all that good stuff. But I really like the capsules because it's great. You don't have to eat any. I mean, you just take the capsules. Sure, there's some calories in that oil, but, it's not like eating a goddamn gross brownie. You just swallowed some horse pills. Hopefully you don't gag to death. And in about an hour, you're going to be pretty high. Squiddy, can I help you, buddy? Gotta wait about a couple seconds. And you stick her right on. So this is my dog, Squid. Sit, boy. He's a good dog. He wants to play Frisbee really badly. But we're not going to play Frisbee right now. And he's a little disappointed with me. But he's still a good boy. We played Frisbee yesterday, so it's not like I abuse him or anything. Here's what I recommend to you guys, more than anything else weed-wise. Don't move from East Tennessee, where you have a lot of room and space, to Southern California, where you have much less space, especially outdoor space, if you have 3 dogs, and one of those dogs being extraordinarily large. All right, bag numero uno. I'm going all the way down for, all right, chat. Well, thanks for saying hi to Squid, everybody. He would appreciate it. He's great at Frisbee. He's really goddamn fucking amazing at Frisbee. It's his favorite thing in the world. Can we see the big doggo? I'll try. I'll call her. She's lazy and she might not listen, but we'll try. Hey, Froggo. Frog. I'm calling. Fingers crossed. Oh, let's hope this doesn't make me cough. Hey, she's coming. Come on in, Froggo. Frog, come here. People want to say hi. There she is. She came. Thank you for coming, girl. I don't actually have anything for you, and now I feel bad. I'm sorry. I wish I had something to give you. You bastards! You bastards! I gotta go get them treats now, because they make me feel bad. I'll be right back. I blame this on you. This pause is on you guys. Alright, I got him treats. Nudie, come here. Treat girl. Bacon strips. Bacon strips. Sit. Good girl. Nude. The other one's kind of deaf. Take it. Good boy. Take it. Good girl. You'll finish your bacon strip. Take it. Take it. All right. That was all on you, as I said. All right, where are we at with chat? I'm going to go back to some chat. I'm going back. Philip Baca, he's the winner of the chat lottery going back to. I waste tons of cash monthly for petty looking low potency weed. There are absolutely no good edibles in Albuquerque. I am sorry, man. I hope New Mexico gets with it soon. My guess is that stuff is going to start flowing in from the east, because California's all in the west. So it's going to start going from the west to the east. I assume you'll get good stuff at some point. Matthew says, killing the beard game. Well, thanks. Try some concentrates. I do concentrates. Squid's a good name for a dog. Thank you. And where are we at? That dog is amazing. Gracias. Anomalous says, I got to take a week or two off smoking. It definitely helps with that tolerance. And I, speaking of, have not hit this yet. Big money, no whammy, no coffee. No coffee. Look at me. Thanks, guys. Thanks for talking cool about my dogs. Dogs are the best. I love dogs. And I said living within a small 2-bedroom condo with 3 dogs is ridiculous. It is ridiculous, but it's also a lot of fun because they're everywhere. You're tripping over fucking dogs all the time. And you can never sit anywhere because they're always sitting. Jeff Slayer says, ever try OC Farms? I've seen them around but never tried. I have tried OC Farms. I'll actually have a review of their disposable, one of their disposables out pretty soon. Probably sometime in the next 3 weeks. And then Philip says, get the dogs high, and I would never do it intentionally. Well, I wouldn't say I would never do it intentionally. There are some times where I would say my boy Squid, my border collie, could use some anti-anxiety properties from THC. But I have accidentally got all 3 of them high at least once, and one of them twice. Frog, the Great Dane, got it the worst. She had a half of a slutty brownie from Milf and Cookies, which is a pretty damn good edible. It tastes like shit, but it's 400 milligrams, and it feels like 400 milligrams. So that poor dog had about 200 milligrams of THC. She weighs right at 100 pounds. Of course, she has no tolerance to it, and of course, she has no framework for understanding what high is. It was both really sad and disturbingly hilarious. She just was zonked out on the couch for about 36 hours. We'd have to more or less not carry her down the stairs, but really coax her to go use the bathroom, because otherwise she'd just sit there and stare off with a glazed look in her eye. She seemed to have a pretty good time. She didn't seem like panicked or anything. She seemed to be pretty pleased, but rather spaced out of it. But yeah, she's the one who's gotten the most high, and she was high for literally 36 hours straight, and very high at that. Sorry, girl. I've done that before, putting the bowl, or I've done the opposite, where I've basically stubbed out a joint, had a roach, and then it was a little too small, so I just took the extras and made a little bowl out of it. Who doesn't love dogs? Bad people, and people who have been attacked by dogs. I understand that. If you've had a traumatic experience with a dog, especially as a child, I can understand why you don't like dogs. They're big and scary, and they got big teeth, and they can do a lot of damage, and they can scare the shit out of you. That being said, I've never been terrified of dogs, and it's unbelievably sad when it does happen. But yeah, the only 2 people that are allowed to not like dogs are sociopaths and people with traumatic childhood experiences. I feel those are the only 2 categories. Other than that, you have no excuse. Philip said, dog hair is a condiment. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's disgusting. Although I am certain I have eaten who knows how many pounds of dog hair over the course of I've had my oldest dog for 8 years, I think. Is that right? I think that's right. So, that dog hair gets everywhere. And let's be honest, occasionally dog hair is going to land on a piece of food that you're not going to notice. You're going to breathe some in while you're sleeping. I've eaten probably pounds of dog hair over the course of the last 8 years. Valid says, have you ever smoked CBD flower? No, I actually don't really do CBD anything. Very, very, very rarely. I appreciate CBD. I'm a little skeptical of some claims of CBD, as much as I think it's a pretty much unalloyed good. I think there are a lot of scam artists out there, turning it into snake oil, but it's not for me. CBD is, I like weed for the sort of soporific effects and the mild, sort of the more sort of fun effects. The anti sort of anxiety, anti-pain things aren't as desirable. I mean, they're great. I love them. Who doesn't like being less anxious and having less, pain in your joints? But when I'm smoking weed, it's because I want to have the classic feeling of being high. Okay, where are we at in comments? Jeff Slayer says he wishes he could own a Doberman. My boy, my border collie, Squid, who you met earlier, he actually came from a sheep farm, an actual sheep farm, where he was raised as a working stock. It was a sheep farm that raised both border collies and Dobermans. They had both of them. So they had a big litter of border collies and a big litter of Dobermans when we went to get pickup. Now, let me go and just be honest with myself. I'm a scumbag. I'm just as much of a scumbag as Michael Ng. I'm a scumbag. I'm a hypocrite. I'm a huge hypocrite. So let me just preface that. I'm an asshole. Nobody should ever like me. As a matter of fact, you should, send me death threats or whatever. Tweet me nasty things. Because I'm a giant hypocrite. 2 of the 3 dogs I have, I did not, rescue. They came from places where people were making money off of them, and that's not great. Now, granted, neither of them were like breeders. The person who had the Great Dane, it was like a family who loved Great Danes, and they had a boy and a girl, and they decided to let them have puppies finally, and they only wanted to keep 2 of the puppies, and they got rid of the rest, and that's where Frog came from. And I'm a hypocrite. You should rescue dogs, but look, I didn't do it because I'm a jerk. I'm sorry. Gnome Child said, just watch LOL Edibles Uncovered. Low key was funny. Well, thanks. I think that's referring to me. Everybody's telling me now that THC is dangerous to dog and it's toxic to dogs. I had not heard that. That is alarming. And if true, I feel way worse than the fact that all of my dogs at one point or another have had been high. One's been high twice too. Shame on me. PP says he was attacked by chicken as a child, and now he eats their nuggets as a revenge. See? That's what you get. That's like a supervillain story, right? That's a supervillain origin story. Some chicken pecked at you and, made you feel uncomfortable and anxious as a child, and then you rued on it for the rest of your life. And then as an adult, you became a McNugget fiend, wiping out untold numbers of chickens. Oh, here's a fun argument for you guys. I heard this for the first time last year sometime, and I love it. I think it's a really fun sort of thought kind of experiment when it comes to eating animals. I'm a carnivore. Not omnivore, obviously, but I eat meat. I eat a lot of meat. I eat too much meat of all varieties. I wish I didn't. I would love to not to. I love the theories that say basically, so when we look back on society now, 100 years prior, we think of like all of these just heinous things that our society now deems as heinous that were done just routinely back then, you know. And it's very likely the case that we're doing some things that 100 years from now, if we survive that long, I doubt we will, that we'll find totally reprehensible. And one of those is very likely that we, you know, had these giant factory farms, because hopefully by that point we'll all be eating lab-grown meat and everybody will love it. But anyways, that's a digression. Fun thought experiment I heard is, so, and I was under this sort of idea as well. If you want to reduce maximum suffering, if you still want to eat meat of some kind, if you don't want to entirely write off meat of some kind, you know, most people think, well, you know, I'll get rid of beef because, you know, I don't want to kill a cow. I don't want to kill a cow. I'll stick with chicken. It's healthier, and, you know, they're dumb chickens. And, you know, that made sense to me thinking about it. It's like, oh, well, you know, it's a cow. You know, a cow's worth more than a chicken. But how much more? How many more chickens is a cow worth? Because, and this, I never really thought about it in this terms, a human adult, you know, can probably logistically only eat about maximum one cow's worth a year, you know, and that's obviously they're not eating a single cow, but if they, you know, partitioned out all that meat, a human being's going to eat roughly, you know, a cow's worth of weight every year. But a human being could demolish a single chicken every day, easily. So is one cow worth 365 chickens? If you're trying to minimize suffering, maybe you get rid of chicken, right? Because you're committing chicken genocide. You know, you're just killing a cow every year. Big deal, you know, one cow. But, I mean, you are Hotel Rwanda-ing chickens. And that's probably really offensive what I just said. And so I'm sorry. I'm very high. That's not a defense. I'm sorry, Don Cheadle. Wouldn't Don Cheadle be one of the worst people to be disappointed in you? Can you imagine Don Cheadle being like, look at you and being like, you fucked up, man. You fucked up. That would be heartbreaking to me. I love Don Cheadle. All right. Where we at? Steak. We'll still be eating meat, bro, says Geraldo Riviera. Geraldo, I would be willing to bet if we are still alive 100 years from now, some people will still be eating meat, but it will be a much rarer thing. It'll be a much more expensive thing. It might be only for the super rich. Once the ball starts going on lab-grown meat, and it, you know, it's already tasting great, but once it starts becoming more affordable, the economics of the situation will just mean that lab-grown meat will be the prevailing thing. I mean, there will be no incentive to have beef or chicken because it will cost so much more at that point than lab-grown beef will, and nobody's gonna want to just, you know, farm or, you know, raise chickens or beef or pork or whatever the case may be. Again, it'll still probably exist. I don't think it'll be totally outlawed. You'll probably still be able to eat a bacon cheeseburger 100 years from now, but you're going to have to pay a shit ton for it. But you'll probably be able to get a quite affordable Fakin' Feesburger, Fakin' Impossible Burger. That'll taste excellent. That's my speculation. But you're absolutely right, though, in Geraldo, in that we'll all be dead by then anyways, so won't matter. Furbear says, I'm going to guess I'm a hypocrite myself because he likes TH Clear's infused chocolates and syrups. Their 1,000 milligram bar is a favorite. Furbear, Again, I might have used too much critical language because some of LOL Edibles and TH Clear's products are not terrible. Like their cereals are okay. Their chocolate bars, as you said, aren't bad. I've never actually, I have had the TH Clear syrup, and while it's not actually the 1,000 milligrams or 1,200 milligrams it advertises, it's still a pretty good deal for like the $40 it costs. It's just that why not tell people that it's actually the 400 milligrams that it is instead of 1,200 milligrams? Why not let people have some way of getting in contact with them to, air their displeasure. I'm just not a big fan of that. But again, some of their products are not terrible, and I do not begrudge anybody who still picks up their favorite TH Clear whatever. I mean, weed is expensive. You gotta, whatever works for you and whatever's most economical, I'm not here to judge. But I am here to turn on the AC because I'm a Wilton. On damn you. Whew. All right. Have you tried making your own edibles? Only capsules, Geraldo. Went over a little bit before. Do you dabble with the mushrooms? Valid, I would love to dabble with the mushrooms. I've had mushrooms once in my life. They did precisely nothing. I didn't really notice anything. But the idea of hallucinogenics, especially ones that have therapeutic and medicinal benefits like psilocybin mushrooms, I'm all on board. I've never known how to get drugs outside of weed when it's legal or quasi-legal. I don't know. I've never been that guy to be like, I don't even know the guy who knows the guy. But if you know the guy who knows the guy who knows the guy, email me. Geraldo still says no. He still refutes my meat theory. I'd love to hear your counter theory. Whatever. If you've got some different ideas, lay it on me, Geraldo. I'd love to hear it. What I find even more interesting from this topic is how humans eat the weight of a cow in a year. Insane. Most don't, right? I mean, they don't actually eat a whole cow, but a cow, can weigh. No human is eating anywhere near a whole cow in a single year. They're gonna eat like a half a cow, a quarter of a cow. The only person who's gonna eat the whole cow is Joey Chestnut, or that's the only competitive eater name I remember. Or I can't remember the Japanese guys who used to run it. Kobayashi? Is that his name? That might be super racist if I got that wrong. Where are we at? I'm catching up with chat. Oh man, I'm way behind. Stacy says hello from Maryland. Hello yourself. Welcome. Thanks for being here. And Cade says he thinks all life is equal. You know what? I should probably put this over here so I can look at sort of the camera behind the scenes. I think all life is equal and feel just as bad for eating plants. They're pretty conscious and aware, but eating meat is worse for the planet. That is a sentiment I've heard a couple of times, but it's not good for you, man, for feeling empathy for the plants, for eating plants. That's a lot of empathy. I certainly feel bad for eating meat. I feel bad for killing the thing, and I feel bad for how much it fucks up our planet just by eating meat. Okay, where are we? Grovel says he needs to move to a legal state. Of course, dude, although hopefully your state will be legal sooner rather than later. Stacy says, so glad that you have medical. How long have you had it there in Maryland? Stacy, I'm not sure when they got... I know it's not recreational. When did you guys get medical? I don't remember. All right, where are we at? The dig hair sounding better. I'm not sure what that means. Grovel says, come to Vegas, you can buy the burgers. He'll buy the weed. That sounds like a match made in heaven. I'd love to see that pilot, that What is my... Oh, he wants that. You can have that, buddy. Here you go. There was a little rawhide. I'm watching him on the camera right now. I'm enjoying that. All right. Gravel says, Riviera, Geraldo, who is buying the hookers? I guess if you're going to Vegas, that is a legitimate question. Brothels are totally legal in Nevada, or it's like one of those things where it's sort of legal, but nobody really asks a lot of questions. I've never been entirely sure. Oh, you meant dog hair. Gotcha. Okay. Geraldo says the legal brothels are kind of rough. If the legal brothels are kind of rough, how bad are the illegal ones? I would assume they'd be worse. Just found my channel. Well, thanks, man. I read on HuffPost that one of them was making over $1 million a year. Wait, somebody working in a brothel in Vegas? I remember being a middle schooler and really enjoying the late night HBO series. This is back when, I think they're done with it. I don't think HBO does softcore porn at all anymore. I think they ended like last year, but it was a big thing for a while. And middle school Wheats used to love Cat House, which was their like reality show docu-series about a giant brothel outside of Reno, I think. And you'd see naked women, and it was hysterical. It was both I'll just use the word, fuck it. It was both titillating for a middle schooler and quite funny. I remember one episode where it was like a guy's 30th birthday, and his mom brought him in to get his first sexual encounter. And she was like in the, lobby waiting for him and congratulated when he got out. It was wonderful. Man, classic TV. Classic things that we used to do before pornography was so easily accessible. Oh my God, Alice is making over $1 million a year. I'm in the wrong industry. I think we all are. Oh, and Grovel was a fan of the Cat House too. See, Grovel, most parents didn't know about the softcore nature of HBO at night because they'd be in bed. We'd be the ones who'd be up, staying up to watch those things. Or in my case, I would stay up to watch Simpsons reruns, and then after... There's no more up there, buddy. After the Simpsons reruns would be over with, then I would stick right on over to the HBO late night. We had Cat House. Real Sex was another great one. Really enjoyed Real Sex. It was like a magazine, a TV magazine, like a Vice. It was basically like Vice, but for exclusively sexual content. Great stuff, Real Sex. And then, of course, the most classic of them all, but perhaps my least favorite, G-String Divas. But that was a weird detour talking about HBO's softcore porn days. I think they might still be on HBO Go. Look it up if you're interested. Where are we at? Going back on the chat. Okay, you don't know my daughter's boyfriend, Sick Burn, I think. DMT is better when you drink it. I've never had DMT. I would be totally on board to try it once. I've heard nothing but interesting things. Intense experiences don't really scare or intimidate me in that way. I don't want to ever do anything... I would never do anything, I don't know. DMT is probably as far as I would go in terms of drugs. Can anyone grow Xanax? I don't think anybody can grow that molecule. I think you have to cultivate it, or you have to do some chemistry. Never done any benzos. Don't want to. Best munchie snack that you like, says Gnome Child. Ooh, that's a good one. Gnome Child, I'm gonna swerve here. I prefer not the munchy snacks. I like getting high and then just eating like dinner, you know, your meal. Because everything tastes better and everything's wonderful, and you don't just pointlessly munching on, you know, Doritos nonstop just to put something in your mouth. Yeah, I would go with. I'm gonna take the swerve and say not a munchie, but if you've never really just been super high and then had like a full spread, you gotta try it. Okay, where are we at? Furbear says that each American will reach 222 pounds of red meat and poultry consumption. Is that combined? That would make sense, right? You're not eating. Yeah, you're eating less than a pound of meat a day, hopefully. So 220 pounds makes sense. And there are some vegetarians to lower that down. Geraldo's getting deep on us. I think time is static, so as we might move one way or the other, in the end, everything will be the same within a range. Elaborate. There's nothing more than I like a philosophical detour. So, but I'm not sure I'm fully following you just yet. Is your dog eating capsules? No, no capsules over there. There was a rawhide, a treat up there that he wanted. Animals are here with us, not for us. Yes. All right. Geraldo says he likes shrooms but hates acid. Okay. I have done acid twice. It was fun. I really enjoyed it. I did not get. I had no real hallucinations, no audio or visual hallucinations. Sure, things got a little bit, fuzzy and patterns sort of emerged that I hadn't noticed before, or, that probably didn't really exist. But I was far from, I could have totally continued my day normally and nobody would have been the wiser. So I've never been, I've never really been what anybody would call tripping. Stacy says, I'm a recovering heroin addict with 18 years clean. Congratulations, by the way. And uses benzos too. Not worth it. Good point. I've never used benzos, but I would advise people stay away from them. They're dangerous. I mean, they're incredibly addictive, and they're not gonna. They're probably situationally very wonderful for the people who need them, but only take them if you need them. Yeah. Okay, Geraldo says, my favorite Munchies, and again, Stacy, congratulations on the 18 years clean. That's really awesome. Congrats. And it's wonderful that, are you using weed to help basically avoid taking like opiates? It's great for like pain management, so that way you don't ever have to get back into those opiates and go back down that wagon hole. All right, Geraldo with a great joke. My favorite munchie is Uber Eats. Boy, I wish I were rich enough for Uber Eats. I feel like everybody is way richer and wealthier and everything than me, because whenever I get adventurous and open up Uber Eats or your Grubhubs or your Instacarts or your whatever the fuck it is, I get excited. I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to order. And then once the delivery fee and then Grubhub's fee and then tip, it's like, holy shit, I'm paying $24 for $10 worth of food. I can't do this. I can't do it. I wish I could just, but it hurts me too much. People says, I like eating cheese sticks and dry frosted flakes. Both of those are amazing. Mozzarella sticks, great. high, not high. Who doesn't love mozzarella sticks? Mozzarella sticks are the dogs of appetizers. That's what I'm putting that out there, because the only people who don't like mozzarella sticks are sociopaths and people who are lactose intolerant or vegan. And then dry frosted flakes. Brother from another mother. I have a terrible phobia. I got lactophobia. It's not a big deal. Terrified of milk. It's gross. Milk is disgusting. It's vulgar. It's horrendous. It's horrific. It's terrifying. When I eat cereal, I eat it dry too, man. Dry frosted flakes, great. Dry O's, great. Dry fucking Apple Jacks, great. Dry pretty much everything. Other than that one thing, good. Okay, where are we at? Oh wait, I got back from, Fur Bear says, I just got back from Oregon with their 50 milligram limit on recreational edibles. The best bet up there is in the edible area is some form of syrups and tinctures. Yes, Fur Bear, that's what's happening here in California too. The big potency things, because here in Southern California you can still have 1,000 milligram tinctures, and I've seen some dispensaries, legal dispensaries, even put things that basically call themselves syrups, which doesn't really fit under the definition, but it's fine by me. It's good. It's great. It's great that those are an option. It just sucks because they're usually way more expensive than the, sort of baked version of the goods, which to me doesn't really make a lot of sense because, really, I mean, it should be the same amount of plant material, either way, right? Like 1,000 milligram, Corova Black Bar from the day, really, well, that's not exactly true. It depends what they're measuring as 1,000 milligrams, but whether it's like the pre-infused weight or the after-infused weight. But I don't understand why tinctures are usually so much more expensive, because it's really the same amount of plant material that would go into an equivalent edible, but instead of having to make the edible, you just either put it in, grain alcohol or in some kind of oil, and you're good to go. So it doesn't really make sense why it's more expensive, because it seems like it should be it should be cheaper, right? I mean, that's what any cursory understanding of economics would tell us. It involves both less material. It should have less material costs and less labor. So I don't know why tinctures are more expensive. It's a bummer that they are, because they're the only real high potency legal option left here in Southern California. And I don't think tinctures are as good as baked goods most of the time, especially if they're not like a high fat oil or something. It's not the best way. Okay. Geraldo says, you hate milk? You're damn right I do, because it's the devil's juice. PP says, oh, dude, I drink milk by the whole gallon. Disgusting. Shame on you. Geraldo says, cheese, though. Oh, I'm not lactose intolerant. Not even slightly. Just think milk is obscene. I think it's what fucking Supreme Court justice was it who defined pornography or obscenity as, I know it when I'll see it. I know it, and I've seen it, and it comes in gallon-sized jugs, and it looks like liquid chalk, and that's obscene. It's obscenity. It should have to cover itself up if it wants to be in public, but really it should be banned from all human sight and really human minds. But man, cheese, great. Oh, cheese, yeah, fuck yeah. Ice cream, good. Milkshakes, terrible. I know, it's weird. It's walking contradiction. I can't help it. That's why it's a phobia. because it's irrational. All right, where am I at? Grovel says dry grape nuts will kill you. Is that true? Is that because they're so small that they'll, enter your lungs instead of, you'll aspirate them or something and they'll kill you that way? Or what is it that about dry grape nuts that'll kill you? Not that somebody should be eating dry grape nuts. Not that somebody should be eating grape nuts. Why is that a cereal that still exists? I guess because there's still some people, there are still some people alive who are over the age of 90 who ate grape nuts when they were, it was the only thing around. But who the fuck now eats grape nuts? Especially if they can kill you dry. Boy, I want to make some inappropriate jokes, but I'm too high. Stacy says, your doctor Maryland was just approved for edibles. Congrats, that's awesome. And, okay. Geraldo says, go buy a mighty infuser. So easy to make your own oils, tinctures, and edibles. Much cheaper, too. I have an Ardent Nova for that same purpose, and I really like it. I'll take a look at the mighty infuser, but, man, the Ardent Nova, really great. James Hughes says, milk is good, y'all cowards. James, I'll be your best friend till the day you die, but I'm sorry you're wrong on this. Milk is, it's literally it's the devil's juice. It's immoral. Milk is, it's unethical. It's just vulgar. It should not exist. It is something that is, it's like a particle without its, appropriate antimatter particle. It's not of nature. It should not exist. You think about it. You guys will understand. If you really think about milk, you'll be like, man, I've been brainwashed for so long. This fucking shit is, it's really, I hate to say it, but I feel like milk is kind of like a terrorist plot. I think, it feels like a cow invasion. But man, cheese is so good. Can't imagine not having cheese. But milk, again. I'm done with milk. I've talked about milk too much. Geraldo says, Stacy's lactose intolerant. Sorry that you can't enjoy the milk derivatives, but it's, maybe a blessing in disguise that you're lactose intolerant because you never have to encounter the putrid, weird, unnaturally colored, you guys are disgusting. Geraldo says, would I date a chick that drank milk? My spouse drinks fake milks. She drinks she's one of those hipster liberal libs who drinks the nut milks. She drinks, your soys. Well, that's not a nut, but your almonds. That's actually not a nut. Did you know that? Here's a fascinating fact, guys. Everything that you think of as a nut is not actually, and I know I'm saying nut a lot, and you're just gonna have to deal with that. Oh no, that's okay, dude. No problem, Geraldo. I was not offended, I promise. Where am I at? Okay, yes, nuts. That's what I was talking about. Nutting, nuts, big nuts, huge nuttings. Nut. Everything that you think of as a nut, peanuts, cashews, almonds, walnuts, Brazil nuts, pine nuts, are not actually nuts. They're not. They're, different things. They're like legumes or other, whatever the fancy words are that aren't coming to my mind. What is the only thing that you eat that you call a nut that is actually like literally, classified by some dork ass, scientist with a genus boner who'd be like, actually, nuts are only a specific thing that encase seeds on where it's a nut is specifically the seed inside of the fruit and everything that you consider. I'm sorry, that's a terrible voice. This could be a dangerous Google. I'm going for it. What are nuts? Oh, yes, that's it. The only thing. Here we go. Almonds are drupe fruits. Brazil nut is a capsule. A candle nut is a seed. A cashew is a drupe fruit. Chilean hazelnut is something. Macadamia is a creamy white kernel of a follicle. Peanut is a seed from a legume. Pecan is a seed of a drupe fruit. Yada, yada, yada. The only thing that is actually a nut that we call a nut is the humble, lovely, best of all the nuts, the hazelnut. The Nutella wonder. That's the only real nut. And I guess, just no, don't. You're too high to start risking it all with tasteless jokes right now. Don't do it. Don't do it. You know how dangerous that is. You're on the internet live, dude. You start making jokes and you could get in all kinds of trouble. I'm talking to myself now. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to finish these last two capsules here because why not? Grovel says, what do you think the best online shop to buy bongs? I've bought all my glass locally. Here in Southern California, you can't, head shops are as common as frozen yogurt stores. So I've always picked up, and I have never had a good piece of glass. I have cool toys like the Volcano and Ardent Nova, and I've got a couple of cool like dab pen things, but I don't ever have any really nice glass. I should, but I'm too clumsy. I break it all the time. All right. Okay. Ethan, you are welcome for the nut facts. I am here to spread my nut facts. I'm going to spread my nut and seed facts as far and wide as I can. Because remember, sometimes your seed is in the nut. I'm going to do these capsules. Okay, head shops are everywhere, man, and that's great. I love having head shops everywhere. I don't understand the economics of it. It doesn't seem like the area could support so many head shops, but, I didn't think it could support so many Pilates studios, and they seem to be doing just fine, too. Gnome Child says, you should review the the new Steezy pods. Are they just new strains, or do they have some new fancy thing I should know about? I should review some more Steezy because they're great. Grovel says they only have one head shop near them, but they overcharge for cheap products. That is true for almost all head shops, but thankfully, because it's so competitive here in Southern California, if you look around, you can get some really good deals, if you're willing to walk a couple of blocks and go through a couple of different head shops. But yes, if you're all by yourself, if you live in a small area that only has one head shop, they are certainly going to overcharge. That's just the name of the game. Geraldo says, Positive Smash reviewed these frozen pipes that look awesome. That actually seems kind of cool. That actually does seem cool. I'd check out a frozen pipe. All right, where we at? Yes, Stacy. I assume Steezy is working on getting everywhere as fast as they can. I haven't done. I don't know if this is true, so I shouldn't actually be talking about this. But I heard that somebody told me that Steezy is actually, Frog. I see you out there, you bitch. That Steezy is actually a sort of a splinter off or a spin-off from Juul, which makes sense. I mean, they look a lot alike. They have very similar tech, and you know they're both incredibly popular with the youngins. So I wouldn't be surprised. But I just heard that recently, and it's interesting if true. PP says money laundering, dude. Ethan Piper says your response made everyone in my house laugh. You're gonna have to remind me. I'm so high, I don't even remember what I said. That was my response. I think my eyes are pretty red, guys. I think these capsules are working. So they were just new strains. And would you try the big Steezy? Of course, I should review the gram Steezy pods. That's where it's at, man. I've only reviewed the half gram. Maybe I'll review one of the gram pods of the new strains. God, though, I love Steezy, but they are a premium. They do cost about, I'd say about between, 10 to 40% more than their competition. But it's arguably worth it. They're really good. Well, thanks for hanging out with us, Valid. Thanks so much, man. Hopefully the videos will keep coming. I got a lot of stuff from the backlog still coming up. Like I remember I even mentioned it in the TKO video that came out yesterday. This video is probably not coming out for a long time. Yeah, everything that's coming out right now and coming out for the next couple of weeks is still really old stuff. So that's why everything looks weird, and that's why I still have a long beard. But yeah, the archive stuff will run out soon, and we'll get the new stuff going very soon. PAX is the Juul spinoff. That's right. Yes. Okay. Yes. Although PAX is actually old. Juul. Yes. Yeah. Juul is the PAX spinoff. That's right. Juul is the PAX spinoff. Yes, that is what I heard. Because PAX has been around longer than Juul, because PAX has, been around for. I had my PAX. I bought a PAX in like 2014, 2013, something like that. The PAX 1. I have a PAX 1 and 2, the dry herb ones. I don't use them that often anymore, but they're still good. Geraldo says Juul is a ripoff. I have never, the only actual nicotine I've ever done is I smoked one pack over the course of like 2 years of clove cigarettes with my then girlfriend, now spouse, like fucking a decade ago, literally a decade ago. And that's the only, I don't even know how much, nicotine it actually has in there, but I've never done e-cigs, never smoked an actual cigarette, never really wanted to go down that route. It's like, if I avoided it this long, why start the nicotine habit? It seems like only bad things are in store. But boy, is Juul popular with the kiddos. Boy, is it ever. And Furbear says he's never seen the attraction of the proprietary pod systems. Yes, I assume, I don't know what'll win, the open source sort of pod model or the Steezy model. It's hard to say. I think Steezy's got the marketing sort of behind it to maybe win out, but maybe both will exist forever. let's see. Philip says, I love your tapestry, more bubbles in space. That is actually a shitty, like, formaldehyde smelling when it came out of the gross sealed plastic, just like queen bed spread or sheet. No, just a sheet from a set of sheets at Walmart that I bought to specifically hang up over that curtain because who doesn't want some starry stuff? But there may be a change in the future. The theme will be the same, but maybe it won't be so sort of gross and straight from China-y. And boy, did it stink, man. Open that thing up. It really smelled like some chemicals used to preserve the dead. Oh, my nut facts made everyone laugh. I'm glad nut facts are contributing to the net happiness. Steven says I should bring back the owl. If you guys have noticed in the cartridge reviews, the owl still sort of exists. He's hidden. It's a little Easter egg. But yeah, we'll throw the owl back in every now and then. He'll come back. Don't worry. The owl's not gone. I haven't completely deleted that JPEG from the Wheat's common images folder that's on my desktop. All right, where am I at? Wheats, what's the average cost of an ounce in shops in the street where you live? Geraldo, it varies so much. You can definitely buy an ounce of something for $100 for sure in Southern California. Whether, you want to do that or not, it's going to be really bad stuff, but that's available. You can also spend, up to $350 for really, really, I think the term here is, they call it private reserve. I don't know why that's become the accepted term. The most connoisseur-y shit, you can pay like $350 or $350 an ounce. I would say, on average, you're paying for an ounce probably about $220, depending on the area, because, some areas are more expensive than others. And that's that is with tax. Yeah, you could probably get a somewhat decent strain for about $220 in LA somewhere with tax. If you go to black market dispensaries, you can get a lot better. Because you're not paying there for the taxes, basically. Oh, that is something that let me address real quick here. I should finish this bag too. I'm letting it all go cool. One thing a lot of people ask me, and I try to answer it a lot in the comments, but I know I don't get to it all the time, is I say black and gray market dispensary. People go, and understandably say, what the fuck are you talking about? And what I simply mean is a not legal dispensary, or a sort of vaguely legal one, because the area it's in has, more lax laws, but they are all over Los Angeles. Actually, there was just a great story in the LA Weekly about how Los Angeles in particular has these tons of problems with illegal dispensaries. They're just all over the place, and they're like, they're like cockroaches. You stomp on one and another one pops right back up. So in the article, they actually talked about it. And I've literally seen it. Some of the dispensaries that I frequently go to are black market ones in Wilmington. That's a huge area for them. Wilmington, which is in Los Angeles, it's right at like the fucking docks. It's a very interesting area. It has a ton of black market dispensaries because the Wilmington turns a blind eye to them, obviously. But recently the LA sheriffs have been just closing them down right and left. And they've not arrested anybody. They've just been shutting off the power. of these places. I actually went to one. I went to a dispensary in Wilmington that was run by all electric torches or electric lanterns, because I guess the power had been shut off that day and they decided to stay open. So they were like literally, they had like 4 or 5 electric Colemans hanging up, and then all the employees just like helping people with their cell phone flashlights. It was pretty wild. So they're all over the place in Los Angeles County. They're, you can get weed a lot cheaper because you're not paying for taxes there. Not that I'm advising anybody do that. The other reason that they're great is because they have the edible products that are no longer legal for sale in California. Things that are above 100 milligrams. Black markets don't care, so you can find those. Anytime you see me review anything over 100 milligrams that's an edible, it came from an illegal dispensary, with one exception. And Cushy Punch, excuse me, hiccuping now, talking so much and so fast. Cushy Punch, if you're out there, maybe you can help me. Cushy Punch, I have seen, has their 200 milligram TKO. I think I've seen it in legal dispensaries before, and I don't understand how. It is definitively a 200 milligram edible. It's over, the limit, and they stopped selling it for a while, but it exists again now. I'm not sure how, or how they've skirted around it. Cushy Punch, if you'd like to tell me, I'd love to know. Okay, where are we at? Chat time. Okay, And 150, not bad, yeah. A lot of blunt taste. I've never actually smoked a blunt. I'm too stupid to roll one. I'd like to try one at some point, but never had the skill to roll one. Gnome Child says, do you have any video game consoles? Gnome Child, the better question is, are there any video game consoles I don't have? I've got 2 Switches, the PS4s, the Xbox Ones, an Oculus Quest. Be still my heart. Yeah, I love all video game consoles. I'm not sure if I would say video games are my primary media love. I struggle between books and film and video games, but I think video games are certainly the most interesting art form around, and will, without doubt, one day be the most compelling form of art that we can create, if we're not there already. Okay. And Gnome Child, to answer your question that you did not ask, boy, I mostly play on PC. PC gamer, I have the other consoles for exclusives, but I do play a fuck ton of Switch. My spouse and I play a shit ton of, Smash Brothers, and I know I've said this before, if any of you guys live in Long Beach, we routinely set up projectors. We have little battery-powered projectors. We'll go downtown or different places in Long Beach, set up a projector somewhere public, and play some Smash Brothers just out in the middle of, in the middle of the city, without, on a big projected screen. It's fun. If you're interested, send me an email. I'll let you know where you can play some Smash Brothers with us. Okay, where we at? Fur Bear says, being the open source nerd you are, he'd like it if there were more good refillable pod system and more of the good oil makers selling it in syringes or the like. I agree. I wish there were, a more open source, just public domain accessible technology that anybody, that isn't patented out the wazoo. And I love syringes too. I've rarely used them, but I've had them a couple of times, and I really, they're the best way to do concentrates for sure. The little syringes, and you can actually, you can sort of use them for edibles too. You can technically, if you're eating it with fat, you can just inject that syrup into something with some fat and eat it that way if you want. Okay. Where are we at? We have too much competition in Los Angeles. Yes. Well, yeah. I mean, it's that the city or the state is stifling competition by not allowing people to compete properly, by making things injecting too much red tape into the process. It's just too hard. From everything I hear from dispensary owners, it's just fucking insane, the amount of hoops that you have to go through, and then you have to compete with a giant and thriving black market that can, undercut you by 30% right out the gate. So it's not fun out there as a dispensary owner. You're kind of, kneecapped right out the gate, which sucks because, I'd love to see them thrive. All right, where we at? Okay, PAX pods are $80 to $90 out there in Maryland. Holy crap. Is that for the half grams? Here in Southern California, the half grams usually run about $40, $35, $40, with the grams usually running about $55 is about what I see on average. And okay, I'm gonna go. Oh, I actually have to turn that volcano back on. Hi, frog. Hi, frog. Auto shut off there after a half hour, as it is what to do. I do two runs from one oven. I fill it up twice from a single oven. And that usually runs me pretty good. It doesn't get too burnt tasting, and still makes for fine firecrackers. Still leaves enough left to be worth it to, throw in some Nutella and make a firecracker. Black market, high quality, cheap prices. Well, you can only really have... I'd say with the black market, you get two of those. Well, you don't... Well, the black market is one. You don't really get the high quality. The quality is much more debate. I mean, like, they're not testing shit at the black market, right? I mean, the weed they're selling, they might claim it's, they'll say it's 22% THC or whatever, but it's not. They didn't test that shit. They didn't pay from that. Hey, Curtis, welcome from Cape Cod, my Yankee friend. Beautiful area. Okay, let's see. Oregon doesn't seem to have any illegal dispensaries because of how they track the inventory in the state. And Furbear, they do, and I think they do a similar thing here in California, the tag program, like all weed is supposed to be tagged, that, there's supposed to be like a chain of custody everywhere along the way. It's just the shit that they're selling at dispensaries, they didn't bother to get it, registered in the first place. It's all unregistered, something that was grown in an illegal grow house too. I would assume that in Oregon somewhere there must be some black market, the black market must survive in Oregon, especially if there's an edible cap of 50 milligrams. Well, shit. I mean, LOL Edibles and TH Clear themselves, sell their shit up there. Sharks fan, welcome, Sharks fan. By the way, have you tried any raw garden products? I have not. Any good? Do you recommend them? I'd give them a shot. What do you? I'm not even sure what they are. Are they a farm? Do they make carts, edibles? Jack Ortner says, "Oh my God, how's the Quest?" And it is fucking fantastic. As a VR cheerleader, I had an Oculus and a Vive on release date. I still have my Oculus, still have my Vive. Love them. The Oculus Quest is, it's here. It is what, fingers crossed, will help VR. VR's never going to become, anytime soon, quote unquote, mainstream. You're not going to see fucking them on the Today Show walking around on VR headsets or whatever. But it's going to be, the Quest, I think, is actually going to be a pretty big deal for VR. I'm going to go out and say it will be the best-selling VR headset to date, even outselling the very well-selling PSVR headset, which I think is like 4 million units. The Quest is the best of them all. I mean, don't get me wrong, it looks way worse than the Vive or the Rift, but not having a cord, being able to take it anywhere, is just fucking incredible. I mean, playing Beat Saber without a cord behind your back it's incredible. It's so goddamn easy, especially in comparison. I mean, once you take the headset out of the box, you know, and you put your Oculus user ID in, you can be in a game in less than like a minute, in comparison to, you know, the Rift, which is going to take you half an hour. Here you just very quickly just draw a little circle around your play space. It remembers exactly where it's at, and you are good to go. And the tracking is truly great. I mean, again, it's not as good as the Vive with their base stations and their laser beams, but it is really remarkable for, you know, a brand new technology, the inside-out tracking. You know, its debut, they knocked it out of the park. Bravo to Oculus. It fucking sucks that they're owned by Facebook, because I love their shit, but god damn do I hate the fact that it's Facebook behind the wheel. It really sucks. Because they are mapping the shit out of my house. They know every detail and corner of my place. They've got cameras that, I mean, they're just feeding. It's fucking wild. And Facebook, man, they suck. They're so unscrupulous. Ugh. Gravel said, aren't they announcing the new Xbox at E3? Almost certainly they will be. Although Sony sort of beat them to the punch. They kind of talked about what the PS5 already is without actually showing it. I assume Xbox will show some games. You know, they'll show some like stuff for it. My guess is Halo Infinite. You haven't seen that in a while. My guess is you'll see that as a Xbox whatever launch title. So yeah, I assume we'll see some shit at E3. Okay, where are we at? Wheats looks so stoned. I am really stoned. I am pleasantly high. It's wonderful. Those capsules. I might have to take some more. Wheats, here's a movie recommendation for tonight. Shot Caller. I believe I've heard of this. Is this this is the movie with Jamie Lannister, right? It's like it's like one of the Scandinavian crime wave movies. Is that it? Okay, now I gotta Google it. Shot Caller. It is the Jamie Lannister thing. Yeah, I've heard pretty... Oh, this is not the one... I was thinking of the movie called Headhunters, which is also another Jamie Lannister movie. I've also heard of Shot Caller, and I've heard it is pretty good. I will check it out. Is it streaming on anything, by the way? That'll definitely increase the likelihood that I will watch it. Holy guacamole, though. Speaking of shit to watch... Game of Thrones, whatever the fuck, that's over. Who cares? Barry, though. My God, is Barry the, like, under the radar little show that could? Holy shit, is Barry incredible. If you guys have never given it a chance, on HBO, very briefly, it is the show just co-written and starring Bill Hader, where he is a very, very competent, well, competent might be the wrong word. He's a very, very skilled hitman who decides to take up acting in Los Angeles. And it is hysterical and really fucking dark, but in that wonderfully funny way. It kind of reminds me actually of sort of very early Breaking Bad, like the first couple of seasons of Breaking Bad in a way. Just where Breaking Bad was in the early seasons, you know, it was the comedy drama ratio was higher, but it was still more drama than comedy. Barry is a lot. It reminds me a lot of Breaking Bad, just with that ratio a little bit flipped. There's more comedy than drama, but they're both that just razor's edge of being almost too dark to handle, or being too dark to be comfortable with what's going on. And it is fucking hilarious. Oh my God, Barry, incredible. I've been on an HBO binge. I also just finished Sharp Objects, which I really, really enjoyed. Amy Adams, incredible. And not HBO, but I am really fucking loving Fleabag, Amazon Prime. Jesus Christ, the second season just came out. I heard so many people, chastising me for not having watched the first season, so I was like, I'll finally watch it. Holy shit, that show is incredible. I've only watched the first 4 episodes. I think there are only 8 in total, or 12 in total between both seasons. But it is a British import starring Phoebe Waller-Bridge. And it is about just a really cynical, hateful kind of woman who is having a tough time in life. And it's also very dark and also hysterical. Okay, where we at? Oh man, I am so behind on chat. Geraldo says VR equals Skynet. VR isn't Skynet. Facebook plus VR is definitely likely kind of Skynet. Jonathan says, try Bloom brand carts. Jonathan, I would tell you, go search my videos. You'll find I've already done one. I like that. Okay. Raw garden is mostly live resin. Ooh. Well, Jack Ortner, I know this is a little behind, but what is the differentiator between live resin and other forms of concentrate, and why is it so much more expensive? If you could do my research for me, because I've been too lazy to, it's one of those things I've always been like, oh, why is that? I should look that up, and then never do. But if you could enlighten me now, I'd love that. Wheat's pimping out VR makes you a death merchant. Me pimping Oculus, a Facebook company, in some ways does. I'm complicit in our future AI overlords. You're not wrong. Jack, yes, pull that trigger on the Quest if you're feeling it. If you have any interest in VR, the Quest is 100% the way to go. I used to say it was the PSVR because it was the most comfortable headset and the sort of most accessible. Even though it was the least had the sort of worst fidelity of the 3 at the time. But right now the Quest is the way to go. Even though it's you're not going to get the best experiences. It's just, boy, being able to take it everywhere, use it everywhere is such an incredible selling feature. You're gonna love it. Okay. Sorry, Skynet. Sorry, Geraldo. You're right. Fuck you, Mark Zuckerberg. Fuck you, Mark Zuckerberg. All right. Sharks fan, I will take a look at Raw Garden. If I can find one of their carts, I'd love to do a review. Appreciate the suggestion. And Geraldo says they killed Rick Grimes in Walking Dead this week. I thought they didn't kill Rick Grimes a while ago. I'm not a big Walking Dead guy, but I mean, it's so big, although I guess it's been sort of precipitously losing popularity as time goes along. But I thought they faked out killed the guy, and he's coming back for some more shit. Jack Ortner, Barry fan. Nice, man. Yes, Barry season 2, so fucking great. It is almost impossible to watch. And Shot Callers on Amazon Prime, great. That's where Fleabag is. I'm gonna add that to the queue. Thank you for the suggestion, Geraldo. PP says Castle Rock by Hulu is insane, by Stephen King, turned it into a TV show. Amazing ending. I'm about halfway through it, PP. I, as an elementary school and middle school, was a Stephen King fucking nut. I read Everything. I read it when I was in 5th grade, which you should not do. The very first Stephen King book I read was actually a Richard Bachman book, which was his pseudonym in the 80s when he tried to see if he could replicate his success. The first Stephen King novel I ever read, Richard Bachman's The Long Walk. I read it when I was in 4th grade. I love it. It's still one of my favorites, one of the most underrated. So Castle Rock has a special sort of appeal to me because of all the Stephen King Easter eggs. And it's been so weird having this Stephen King sort of reemergence or resurgence or, whatever you want to call it. He is more popular than ever. And actually last year, I was just sort of swept up in the King mania myself. And I did over the past 2 years, I read a Stephen King book, which I haven't done in forever. I read his newest one, The Outsider, which was okay. It's pretty good. And then I listened to both it and The Stand again, and they were just as good as I remember them being in middle school. I was terrified that I was not going to like them. I've gone on to a lot of other things from Stephen King. I thought I would only find them, enjoyable as a nostalgic exercise. Did not. They're still wonderful, wonderful reads, even though they take 45 hours to listen to. But yes, thanks for the suggestion. Okay, I am trying to get caught up here. Okay. Catching up. Wheats, if you're a reader, and I am a reader, Edward Bunker is awesome. Animal Factory and Dog Eat Dog are must-reads. I don't know if I've even heard of Edward Bunker. I'm going to do a Google right now. I am just finishing, or no, not finishing. I am 2 of 9 stories in of Ted Chiang's new short story collection, the guy who wrote Arrival. He has a brand new short story collection out. It's the talk of the science fiction world right now. And the first 2 short stories are nothing more than revelations. I got goosebumps reading both of them. They are incredible. Believe it or not, the guy who wrote the story that Arrival is based on can spin a hell of a good yarn. Who would have thunk? Yes, it's called Exhalation. And if you are a sci-fi fan, or you are a fan of humane stories in general, God damn, so good. And then I just finished Dan Simmons' Hyperion, which was quite the adventure. Ozark is a great show. Can't wait for the next season. I've heard a lot of good things about Ozark. Just never dug in myself. Maybe at some point, but boy, are there a lot of prestige, good dramas vying for one's attention. Dominique says, how come you don't review concentrate without pesticides? I'm just not good enough to tell you whether something... I can tell you how high something will get you. I'm pretty good at estimating the THC quantity of something, but I am not the guy, I am not a weed sommelier. That is not me, not in the slightest. Like, I like good flavor stuff, but I'm not going to be able to tell you, the notes of chocolate and this and that. And I to me, if I'm high, I'm high. It's very little, and certainly sometimes on the margin, but I'm not the best guy to tell you why one concentrate is better than another, other than purely as a measure of how much THC is in it. And that's I can talk about taste too, but it's just, the reason I do the edibles and the carts is because there are things about them that are more suspect than the the concentrates. Because if I review the concentrates, it would be only the big ones that are available everywhere, because you want to review just a tiny local concentrate because not everybody's, has access to it. The reason I review the edibles and the carts is, well, carts are faulty and there often a lot of problems with them, and they have some design issues, and there's the flavor component and then the THC component. So there's a lot to talk about there. And then edibles, there's a hell of a lot to talk about because there's a lot of fraud and shit in that regard. So I have a lot to discuss there. Whereas with concentrate, I'd just be sort of a floundering fish. I'm not a good talker. Like, I'm not one of those people who can just, spin some bullshit about, this and how it. I can't even fake to it. I'm not good with the words. I'm not good at speaking. I'm not good at using my lips and tongue. I'm not good at saying necessarily. I hope that answers your question. Okay, well, I'm going down. I have to keep up. Oh, but somebody answered my question about live resin. Live resin is made with fresh plants that aren't cured. Oh, that is weird. I did not know that was. So, wow. Okay. Interesting. Thank you for sharing. Okay. Huh. Why is that a more, why does that make it more expensive and more desirable? The full spectrum. Okay. That sounds, full spectrum is a buzzword. Just to let you guys know. If you see full spectrum, it's a DMA. Doesn't mean anything. That's a fun video game fact. We're talking about video games. The wonderful folks over at Rockstar, before they were called Rockstar, makers of Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead, Bully, so on and so forth, they were for a long time called DMA Studios, which stood for Doesn't Mean Anything, and they became Rockstar. I think after 2K, I don't remember when they changed their name. I think Grand Theft Auto 3 was still under the name DMA Studios. It's neither here nor there. Here's a fun, God, I need to get caught up on chat, but you guys got me talking, or I got myself talking, and, fuck you. I guess I can say what I want to say. I think Dan Houser, the head of Rockstar, is probably one of the most fascinating people in the United States. Here's a guy who tells the most quintessential American stories that are truly underappreciated by critics, I think. I mean, not always. I mean, of course, people, creamed their pants for Red Dead 2. But even things like Grand Theft Auto 5, they are doing really interesting, nuance is the wrong word because it's not very subtle, but they're doing things. They're trying to say things, and they succeed, and it's wonderful. And it's from these fucking Scottish brothers, the Hauser brothers, who never get interviewed, never show their faces, and they are arguably some of the most influential people in American culture. Like, Grand Theft Auto is one of the most influential things, in pop culture of the past 20 years. And it's made by these Scottish brothers that nobody knows. My prediction is within 20 years, you will see a documentary called... No, you won't see a documentary. You'll see it might not even be a biopic. It might be one of those things that's like, intimated that it's based on the life of somebody. You're going to see a movie called Rockstar that is sort of the story of Dan Houser at some point in your life. And it's going to be called Rockstar. And you'll understand why, because, that's a prediction. You can stamp that one because it's just too fascinating. This, and the fact that nobody has really heard them talk, everybody knows, about fucking Steven Spielberg's theories of how the U.S. operates and you know, sort of notions on our society and culture. Everybody fucking knows, you know, how pick your mid-tier author, your Toni fucking Morrison, your, you know, feels about America and American society, but arguably Dan Houser and Sam Houser are just as influential as them, and nobody has ever heard them really speak. And I would love to know what they think. I would love to pick their brains. They're fascinating people. Boy, okay. That was a definite detour. Oh my God, I'm so far behind. Okay, I'm just gonna have to catch up. Live resin has had more active cannabinoids, so more live resin talk. Thank you again. Gravel, great question. What game are you most looking forward to seeing at E3 this year? The game I am most looking forward to seeing is something that I don't know yet exists. Right? I mean, if the answer is like, what game am I most excited for, that will, well, actually, it won't be at E3, but I mean, Sony might do some E3 tangential thing. I mean, the most excited for game I am coming out anytime soon is The Last of Us, because, you know, or The Last of Us Part 2, because The Last of Us is, I mean, it is the best video game ever made, and I can't wait to see what Naughty Dog does next. But that won't be at E3. I hope Nintendo has a big surprise. Fuck it. You know what? I'm gonna say it. Halo Infinite. I love Halo. You know, Halo's fallen on some hard times. Halo 5 kind of bounced off it pretty quickly. I think everybody did. But I'm really interested to see what they've been cooking up for so long. And my guess is, and from what the scuttlebutt is it's going to be a departure, right? It ain't going to be your daddy's Halo. And I'm interested to see what they do with it. So Halo Infinite. Oh, fuck, yeah, that's right, the Avengers game. I forgot that's going to be at E3. Holy shit. I have heard rumors that it's going to be a games as a service thing, like a Division Destiny type thing, which is weird. I struggle to see how that would work, but, you know, I'm excited to see what's going to happen. Baldur's Gate 3, I've never played any of the original Baldur's Gates, you know, appreciate them for the classics that they are. I've played a little bit of Divinity Sin, whatever the Divinity games are, the popular ones. I bounced off of them more quickly than I would thought, but I know people are definitely excited for Baldur's Gate 3 with Larian Studios at the helm. Oh yes, Star Wars Order 66, because fucking goddamn Respawn is amazing. I mean, weird they're riding high on the hog with Apex Legends right now, but shit, I mean, Titanfall 2 is one of the best, smoothest playing shooters ever. Such a great campaign. One of my most played multiplayer games probably ever, actually, Titanfall 2, so super excited to see what they do as well. That's a great one. Okay, oh my God. I think I am gonna need to take a break. My throat is, my voice is getting a little strained. It has been a blast, but my voice is starting to die, you know, because I haven't been streaming as often, and I've been speaking very loudly. And Geraldo, I'm sorry that the Ewoks ruined it for you. You know how us youngins feel with episode 1 with Jar Jar Binks. Your Ewoks was my Jar Jar Binks. I was in 6th grade, I believe, when episode 1 came out. I think that's right. So it was a big deal for me, and you know, I loved it at the time. But boy, although I subscribe to the theory that those movies are actually bad but interesting. All right. That is going to do it. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. It's been a super blast. My throat, I'm going to go drink some water. I'm going to go hang out. You guys have been wonderful and lovely. We'll do this again real soon. Bye, everybody.